All right. It must be 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Jay, and welcome to Let's Talk About It. And I think I've picked some good stuff to talk about. I'm just checking. Yep, I'm live. I always double check to see how I look, okay, when I come before you, because I always want to try to look my best. This is a crazy day today, believe it or not. I just looked out the window. This is April the 6th, and it's snowing in Germany. Now, here's what you got to remember, okay? 10 days ago, we were wearing short sleeve shirts. There were people outside with t-shirts and shorts. And now we're back to the heat is back on in the place. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. I drove home from my son's last night, went out and hit the windshield wiper, and I'm hearing all this scratching. This weather is April weather. I am serious. This is really crazy. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. As you know, my notes are always to my left. I'm going to start out with my affirmation. Affirmations are very important. And believe me, my list of affirmations, this is just two that I do for the show, but I have a list of probably about 12 to 15 different affirmations, right, which cover everything from my family to health, so I've got a lot of affirmations, but just for the show, I like to keep it short because this has to do with the show. Number one says, I'm so happy and grateful that my Facebook group, Jay's Seven Figure Club, has grown to 10,000 active members. And then, of course, the other one has to do with the show here. I'm so happy and grateful that I have 10,000 viewers. I'm going to put 10,000 plus viewers on that, on my daily show. Let's talk about it. Now, look, I've got such an awesome quote for today that I decide what I want to do is I want to share it, okay, because I'm going to post it later on. But I've got to share this with you. This is just so heavy. Please bear with me for a second. When I get it up, I will definitely read it, and you will understand why I had to share it. Okay, here we go. This is my quote for today. Is this not awesome or what? Okay. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing today getting me closer to where I want to be tomorrow? And I want you to think about that all throughout the day and, of course, throughout this show. Is what you're doing getting you closer to where you want to be? That's why I say you got to read that affirmation. You got to read that question to yourself. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing today getting me closer to where I want to be tomorrow? All right, so let me get back to where I want to be now. Stop sharing and bring that down. There he is. I'm back. Okay, so we're good to go. So we got that out the way. That's very important. Now, look, tonight, well, I should say this afternoon. My apologies. It's nighttime in Germany, daytime in the United States. At 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, your time, I'm going to be doing a live training only inside Jay's Seven Figure Club. And this one you really need to get inside and look at because it's on branding. I'm starting my series on branding, and we're going to start out today. We're going to talk about your profile page, okay? Where you have your timeline or your news feed, and the things that you need to have correct there. And there's about 5 or 6 of them that I've listed that you need to correct if you're not correcting it. Because that's a big part of your branding on Facebook, just like it is on LinkedIn, okay? Those are two biggest ones. YouTube, yes, your YouTube channel, you can brand that also. But today we're going to concentrate, of course, on the most used one, which, of course, is Facebook. So branding is a way of making you stand out among the thousands on Facebook so people get to hear your message, right? If they can't see you, then, of course, then they cannot get the message that you want to get across to them. I'm at that time. I suffer from, well, I don't suffer. I have serious allergies. So periodically, you will definitely see me doing 2 things. One, which is wiping the tears from my eyes, right? And the other periodically, because I do have some time because of medication, dry throat from my allergies. You'll see me grabbing a glass of water, but for right now, I'm okay. Now, here's our topic for today. It's called 10 Ways to Be a Better Leader, even when you aren't in charge. Check it out. 10 ways to be a better leader, even when you're not in charge. You know, you don't have to be in charge to be a leader. It's something that you develop with inside of you. And I've practiced that in my career for 40 some years. So let me go pull this article up real quick. Now, today I'm sharing an article from a young lady by the name of Patty Johnson. Okay. And this article was written in May 1st, 2015, but it really caught my attention. And what I like to do, I like to read what she's actually written, because I've given her the credit, and then take a second to talk about what I've actually read. I break it down, that it makes sense to you. Okay, so it says, do you think of a leader as someone else with more important title or more experience? Think again. True leaders have more than impressive job descriptions and company anniversaries. They have influence and contribute to something bigger, not just to work, but also to the team. Okay, so in other words, you can be a leader and not be the CEO or the manager in a company. This comes along with that passion that you build up for what you're doing. Because I guarantee there's some people that are working for Apple, right? They live, sleep, dream Apple, okay? Or Amazon, as an example, right? And they're actually giving ideas to Jeff Bezos to make him more richer, right? When they could actually go out and start their own business. But some people love their jobs. And if you're one of those type of people, I'm not going to talk to you about changing your mind. That's what you feel where you're comfortable at. So you can show up like a leader too. And when you do, the rest of your career will take care of itself. Here are 10 behaviors that can help you as a leader, right? So number one, and I never had a problem with this one. Speak up. Even this is when I was in the military. I would drive those leaders crazy. Leaders, regardless of title, know their role to share and be a part of the conversation. They aren't content to be bystanders. Decide up front in any meeting or discussion that you have a role to play and participate. Think about how you can contribute, not if you'll look good. In other words, what they're saying is that when you're thinking about what you can contribute to the conversation, it's not just about making you look good. Because I was in sales, we always had like what you call weekly meetings, okay, because most of us were spread apart. And when we have those meetings, once a week, we would drive in from different areas, and everyone would contribute to that meeting, of course, to come up with different ideas to produce more, right? Which means we all earn more. So it's like, come to the meeting with some content, some thoughts of your own, but not in a situation where you just want to stand out, that I'm the guy. I'm the go-to guy. That I'm the one that you need to go to. Okay, I'm going to be the next CEO. You could be thinking that in your mind, but in a company, it's great to be a team player. Now, the next one is number 2. Have ideas to make things better. Leaders contribute to the greater good. Bring ideas to help make your work, team, organization better. And good ideas come from being informed and learning about much more than just your daily work. You know, one thing I've discovered, even with the trainings that I'm putting together, and even with doing this show, you have to do research, right? And that research makes you more knowledgeable. Now, you might not need that knowledge for the moment, but you will need that knowledge in the future. I was told when I joined the direct marketing field, it said that to be successful, you need to have a mentor, and then you need to become a mentor. So in other words, someone needs to be mentoring you, and you need to be mentoring others, because the knowledge that you receive, that's not your knowledge. That knowledge has been there for years. Okay. So a lot of times people will get some content and they think, well, this belongs to me. No. In direct sales or network marketing, there's no new ideas. There's new packages, excuse me. My apologies, I'm sorry. Okay, so just let's get that clear. Okay. The knowledge that you have, you received it from a mentor. That means it's your obligation to take that knowledge and pass it on to others to help make them better. Now, number 3, I thought this one was very interesting. It says, stop talking about other people. Oh, I'm going to repeat that one. Stop talking about other people, right? Nothing makes you look smaller faster than filling your conversation with everyone else's weaknesses. I used to work with someone with a nonstop commentary on how everyone else has annoying, frustrating, uninformed, or clueless, and so on and so forth. Most people spend their energy in this way trying to deflect from their own lack of confidence. It's hard to have influence if criticism is your currency. I just thought that right there is just heavy. And I know a lot of you listening to me right now, watching me right now, you know it's true, okay? That in your organization, I don't care if you're working, even if you're in a factory, okay, or you're in the military, wherever, that you will have people who always have to talk about someone else and the suggestions they brought up and why it's wrong and why it won't work. It's always negative, 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 in order to try to make their self stand out. Okay? So stop talking about other people. Number 4, show your brand of enthusiasm. It doesn't mean you have to become a cheerleader or be someone you aren't. Enthusiasm means confidence in your ideas, a positive outlook, and valuing others. No one will show more enthusiasm for your ideas than you do. Okay? So let me give you this analogy as to what I accept out of this. Now, you have Christians and you have Christians. Okay? And sometimes those Christians can really disappoint you. I can remember a case that I was attending a church, right? And there was a couple. They had not gotten married yet. And they had started a household, and they were planning on getting married in the spring. And a lot of people that went there knew this. But then you had, now listen, not the pastor of the church, one of the assistant pastors and his wife took it upon themselves to go out and have a conversation with this couple, which about their living in sin. Now remember, this couple were on the usher board. They were, I think the guy handled the, what do you call it? All the technology, meeting, videoing the church service for the day and different things like that. Even putting them onto CDs so the church could end up selling them in their bookstore. All right. So, I mean, they were doing a lot involved. This one couple, right, were so holy that they had to take it upon themselves to make someone else feel small, and of course caused this beautiful couple to leave the church. And yes, they did get married, that couple, okay, but they're spending their time at another church. I hope that kind of makes sense of what I'm saying. Okay. It's okay. But you have to, again, I'm going to go back and read it. This doesn't mean you have to become a cheerleader or be someone that you're not. That individual was not the pastor. You got what I'm saying? Okay. But they had took on the role, waving their cross, right? And did not good. They ended up doing destruction because the church lost someone that loved that congregation. And that congregation could go over to being a company. Hope I made sense. All right. Power up other ideas. When someone else gives a good idea, offer validation and expand on it. As an example, if your coworker has a great recommendation for a new way of connecting with customers, then recommend how to get started with an experiment. Something I always believe. Jay Early, do not have all the answers. Okay, this is why, example, right now, I'm using this young lady's material. You see me do it often. I plan on having guests on in the future. Okay, so it's not about me knowing everything to be able to get the content out to you, but to be able to be resourceful enough to find people who are experts where I'm not, to be able to give you the correct information and help you out. That's the way I see it. Okay, so constantly improve how you work. Always look for ways you can do your work better. Share ideas for even small improvements. Keep looking for how to increase your contribution, even if no one is asking you to do it. Now remember, let's go back. The title is 10 Ways to Be a Leader Even When You Aren't in Charge. Okay? So number 6 kind of hits right on target. And here's something I want you to think about. You're always being watched on the job. Whether you're doing good or you're doing bad, you're being watched. Okay, so number 6 makes a lot of sense to me. Always look for ways you can do your work better. Now, we used to say that the way to keep your job is to put yourself in a position where, this is going to sound funny because I don't think the word really exists. You can't be fired. Let me try it that way. All right, I had another word for it. But put yourself in a position where you're so valuable to the organization that when it comes to letting somebody go, you're the last one on the list. And doing things like this are ways that you do that because you're showing that you really care, that you're passionate about your work, and that you're not just showing up for a paycheck. Number 7, quit being a professional critic. Early in my career, I had a respected boss tell me that being a critic isn't hard and that no one earns respect from doing the easy lifting. It's not difficult to point out what's wrong. Leaders have recommendations and answers. Makes sense, right? Okay. So even though you're not the boss, your recommendations can one day make you the boss, because again, that comes along with that passion that we talked about showing that you're really caring about the job that you're doing. And that could be job, your own business. Okay. That you can even relate that to network marketing, teamwork, to show that you're a team player. It all works out. Number 8, I love this one. Solve problems rather than self-promote. Keep your eye on the problems you want to solve or an opportunity to make your work team better. Recommendations intended to make yourself look good, get promoted, and get spotted out very easily. So I guess what they're really saying is that the boss can recognize a phony. I try to think of another nice word to say it. There is none. I'm just keeping it real. All right. And I know if you have a job that you know exactly what I'm talking about. Give credit to others is number 9. Appreciate others' contributions. Openly thank people for great recommendations that work. Congratulate others for the success of their new project. This shows not only self-confidence, okay, but it proves that you are more interested in the success of the team than just yourself. Now, this is something I always say. Example, let me take it back to network marketing. When you see someone get ahead, okay, they had a great week. They made a lot of money. Okay, they brought a lot of members into the company, right? They got a promotion. Cheer for them, but cheer from the heart. Don't just, don't say yay. Really mean it. Yeah, congratulations. Because guess what? Yours is coming. And how would you feel if nobody congratulated you when you were successful? You wouldn't feel too good at all. Okay, so think about that. And then last but not least is number 10. It says, think as if you had the job that you want in the future. Know the issues you'd have to consider if you were in charge. This outlook helps you broaden your perspective and continue to grow. I really enjoyed that. I think she did a great job in putting that material together because, again, a leader does not have to have the title. A leader has the passion, the enthusiasm, the willingness to be a team player. All those things count in our leadership development. That's the best way to put it. Okay, so look, I pray you got something out of this today. And what I want to do right now is just go back and remind you, if I can pull up my sheet here, that at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, inside of Jay's 7-Figure Club, all you got to do is just do a Facebook search, right? Just type in Jay's 7-Figure Club. You'll see it run across the tape right there. And go ahead and hit the join button. And then I'll see you at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the topic will be branding your profile. All right. I hope so. Everybody has a healthy. I see a comment came up. My apologies. Check the comments. I love my Facebook user, but I wish they would put their name up there, and at the same time give yourself a picture so I can give the individual their just dues. And I don't know how that pops up just showing Facebook user. Unless they didn't give, I know what it was. If you're still watching, you've got to give StreamYard permission to be able to show your name. That's what it is. I should tell everyone that at the beginning. All right. So I look for my comments on YouTube, LinkedIn, and of course, in the groups that I'm broadcasting in. Again, remember, my goal is 10,000 viewers. The only way it's going to happen is with your help. So if you're getting something out of this information, just share it. Share it on your timeline or share it in 4 or 5 groups for me. Get the word out there, and I will see you tomorrow at your time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you enjoyed your morning coffee. Love you.